do want to welcome Special Agent Colleen M. Rowley of the FBI.
The first thing I want to do is thank you for the opportunity to appear today. I never really anticipated this kind of impact when I wrote this letter to Director Mueller over 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you know, I think they've been saying, and one of the things was I saw the new direction of the FBI. Perhaps it was kind of hard to discern when it was first announced, but I thought I saw some impetus towards a little more additional bureaucracy and micromanaging from headquarters. And I wanted to point out to Director Mueller that that seemed to fly in the face of what we should have learned from September 11th. And the two things were we need that agility that Director Mueller was speaking of this morning, that agility and ability to quickly react. And I really see that as if you get too top-heavy with too many layers, he also mentioned that problem, that you are going to be stymied. I was encouraged by Director Mueller's testimony this morning because I think many of his ideas do seem to go in the right direction and actually are quite consistent with the various items I had in my letter to him.
Last week, FBI Director Mueller.
Just as we knew on September 11th that we had to find out who was responsible for this, we also knew our charge had changed forever. An honest and comprehensive examination of the pre-September 11 FBI reflects an agency that must evolve and that must change if our mission, our priorities, our structure, our workforce, and our technologies are to revolve around the one central, paramount premise of preventing the next attack. As an example, we have a financial review. The need for change was apparent even before September 11th. It has become more urgent since then.
So I cannot understand why the Department of Justice continues to insist on action. Director Mueller has confronted this mounting evidence, and he's candidly admitted what we all now realize, that today we can't say for sure whether the 9/11 attacks might have been stopped if all the dots had been connected and all the leads been followed. And I commend the director for the candor of his recent statements.
They and the other recognized international terror.
You did the memo to do the inquiry on the Phoenix electronic communication. You got that in September. Is that correct?
We received the
September 29th?
I believe it's September 28th. We received the Phoenix EC from the FBI.
And you gave it to the Joint Committee 2 weeks ago.
We gave the results of our preliminary inquiry in, I think, May 22nd, correct?
About 6 months later, more than that.
That means? Well, I'd be glad to answer that question for you, Senator Biden, but I'll defer to the witness.
What do you mean by I understand?
By the way, this is on his time, Mr. Chairman. And I took a public position there ought not to be an inquiry immediately after 9/11 because the most important thing was to allow the intelligence agencies to regroup and stop another attack. But that doesn't go to the issue of turning over the Phoenix memo, at least to the chairman and ranking member. Had they seen it, had we seen it, we would have had some very good suggestions for you.
I understand, Senator.
How about this is on his time, Mr. Chairman?
I'm just curious what he means.
I intend to be